Good morning, team. I'm excited to share with you one of my favorite conversations about building your local business and eventually going global. I talk about it with people all the time. It's pretty much been a dream I have lived for many, many years. I started to have these fantasies when I was in my early to mid 20s about building internationally, okay? Having relationships around the world, breaking bread with people in different markets, seeing the world, traveling the streets of Bangkok, Thailand, okay, or having dinner in Uganda with amazing people, going to the beautiful, pyramids of Mexico, and just literally living an amazing life. And you know what's really cool? You and I and all of us have the same opportunity. So the beauty of It Works Global is that they are on the verge, they are on the very beginning stages of global expansion. So the timing and the positioning is absolutely perfect. I talk to people every week and every month when they call, hey, how do I build internationally? How do I do this? And I'm going to give you a couple simple steps today because it's important that you realize the key to this is all in your backyard. When I say that to people, they kind of scratch their head a little bit like, what are you talking about? Well, let me just give you the concept. You build the fire, you stoke the fire in your backyard, and these flames, you got to fan them. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. It's very simple. So you look at your backyard, that is your nucleus, that is the most important part of your foundation. And by the way, some of you may have multiple backyards. You may have lived in different cities, different states, different countries. I mean, Brandy and I, she lived in Hawaii. We both lived in Ohio. I think I lived in San Francisco for a couple of years, Florida. We've got different pockets. So you may have your primary backyard, but you also may have multiple backyards. So whatever you have, okay, those are your campfires. I want you to think about that today. They're all supported by events. And these could be Zoom events that you're doing. They could be in-home meetings, which I highly recommend. Sometimes the home office is going to send out, Cami or Mike. I think Mike's going to Nashville here pretty soon. When you look at the different corporate events, in addition to the events that you and the leadership are putting on, in addition to your in-home meetings, and you also have social media, which we'll talk about for a few minutes. All of this together collectively, okay, compounding over time is what's going to create your global business. Let's talk about your event link. This is something most people don't even realize exists, I've found when I talk to them. But you go to your site and click on events, and you're going to find there's always an event happening, whether it's Indiana, it could be Georgia, Virginia. You can see what's currently happening right now. So when you look at the events, current events, now you can start asking yourself, who do I know? The second most important question, who does your team know? So let me back up a second. When you look to build in different cities, states, or countries, those two questions, you want to write those down, as simple as they sound, are the most important questions. Who do I know, and who does my team know? So let's say, as an example, Brandy calls me on something. We're doing a three-way call, and by the way, hey, Brandy, we've got a bunch of people going to Charlotte, North Carolina for this event. Do you know anybody in Charlotte? Just curious. And again, just a real quick 30-second conversation might stimulate the next person that's going to go to that event. So you incorporate it and thread it into your normal conversations. Nothing that we're going to talk about today is going to prohibit what you're currently doing, limit what you're currently doing, hold you back in any other way. It's not something that takes a lot of time, but this is something you can focus on literally 10 to 15 minutes a week on a Sunday when you're planning out your week, and you just kind of make sure you're in tune to the current events, in tune to what's happening. And when you're talking to your team, who do I know? Who do they know? Very important. Now, Facebook offers some pretty cool resources. So now you can search, like you'll see here, Columbus, Ohio. Brandy and I are headed up to Columbus, Ohio for, some family and Final Four fun. But at the end of the day, we can look on Facebook and say, who are our friends in Ohio? Because, if you look at any state, you're going to have a city. Doesn't mean they have actually live in Columbus. They could be an hour away. They could be 45 minutes away. So we designate time everywhere we travel, no matter what it's for. Even during holidays, we designate time, and I recommend you do this too, whether it's an afternoon or an extra day, to meet with people, whether it's from us or somebody on our team. Right now, we're doing a little mini blitz to meet with people on Friday and Saturday morning. Our Final Four game's Friday night, but you know what? Before and after, we're going to meet with people. We're going to expand our business. So utilize Facebook. Find out who you know. Find out who they know in the different cities, states, and countries. Many people ask me too, like, are we in Denmark? Are we in Germany? Well, the resources, by the way, are right in front of you 24/7. You can always go to your site, pretend like you're signing up, select your country, boom. This is where we operate. This is where we can do business. Your back office, by the way, you have a document on demand that you can select a different country. And just keep in mind some of the emerging markets, whether it's Japan, Philippines, Korea, Mexico, these are emerging brand new markets that the company has launched within the last year. Some of these are going to have different products because they're new. You're going to have, like you see now, Skinny Brew in the USA. We've got a sampling system, a bunch of cool stuff going on. But the reality is all of this information is at your fingertips. So don't bog your upline down with basic questions you should already know. And you want to be aware, I would print this. So when you're talking or communicating, you'd be surprised as your business starts to grow. Hey, are we in Australia? Boom. Okay, yeah, we're there. Reference your website. Now, the expansion conversation is my favorite. There's two ways to use this. I'm going to give you, by the way, this is just a highlighted script. There is no right, there is no wrong script. And when you have a conversation, that's exactly what it is. It's a conversation. So when you first talk to anyone, okay, and you may start messaging first, you may be texting first, but you have your normal small talk, you get caught up on life. And by the way, John, we are letting you know, I'm just putting you on notice, bro. We are expanding our coffee business in Columbus. And man, I could use your help. Now I know you drink coffee, but who do you know that drinks coffee? And let me tell you a little bit about this product. Boom. I'm going to go right into the conversation. I'll tell you how I tell people about this product. I send them the before and afters. I don't need to sell anything. You don't sell coffee, people drink it. You don't really have to sell tea, people drink it. But when they see results, they look and they listen. So I get them the results, I get them a link, they can check it out. And at the end of the day, if at a minimum, I'm going to sell them some samples. But it's the conversation that you have that you're expanding your coffee business in Columbus. I'm expanding my coffee business in France. Why? Because Mark Pentecost is going to be there with Kinsey. Again, another resource. When you look at the events and what's happening in Europe, there's some pretty big events happening with Mark and Kinsey. So if there is an event that you can use, you're going to let them know about the event. You're going to let them know who they can meet and how they can learn more. Now, part of this is working with your leadership. One thing I love about It Works Global is that from the top down with all the leadership, they've done an amazing job of installing that one team, one mission. So it doesn't matter where you build, doesn't matter where you go, you're going to have support. Everybody works together. And a lot of companies can't say that. They don't police it. They don't protect it. We do here. So you can be confident 100%. And sometimes when you're building internationally and people say, well, I need a local sponsor. Well, if you need a local sponsor, you'll never build internationally. That's my response every time I shut it down. Now, it's great sometimes to have a local sponsor, but do you need it to be successful? No, the only thing you need is you in the mirror every day. All problems, all solutions are in the mirror. So you can do this by event, or you can do it by the information that you send to them. So a lot of people wonder, I'm kind of a quiet guy, but behind the scenes, this is what I do. I spend a lot of time messaging, building the relationship. I'm not worried about if they're joining today or this week or this month. What I'm worried about is the amount of people that I keep dripping on, the amount of people I let them know that we're expanding our coffee business. We're expanding our new skincare line. You can see what happens here. You can create new every day. It's the expanding my business blitz. So think about this, get the information to your prospects and let the relationship build from there. Now, just keep in mind, no different than recruiting somebody in your backyard or recruiting somebody across the globe. Remember that there are things that you can't control. Some people are going through timing issues. Some people may have some financial issues. Some people may have some spousal issues. And a lot of people just have belief issues. But I'm going to leave you with this thought in a great quote so you can let this sink in. Besides spending 10 to 15 minutes on a Sunday to look at the expansion plan for your business, whether it's a neighboring city, neighboring state, or country, is that you need to make sure you are here when those people join. And that's something I think about every single day. So when I'm out there building my business, I don't get frustrated with people that don't join. I do not get frustrated with the people that quit. What I focus on is that consistent activity. And part of that recruiting process, and if you want to get a little bit stronger in your recruiting, you want to strengthen your, your game, then you need to be creative, you need to be persistent, and you need to have a good attitude. That good attitude, that solid attitude is going to create all the right activities. It's going to create all the right results, because some people may not join for 6 months. Some people may not join for 18 months, but you need to make sure you are here to reap the benefits. I can't remember what event I attended. It was well over 15 years ago. I know that for a fact. I wrote this in my journal. Creative persistency with the right attitude is the key to your local and global success. Extremely important and powerful quote. I can tell you some of the little things make a big difference. Brandy just started sending postcards to our customers. And I'll tell you, it's made a big difference. They buy more. They thank us. They make posts on her Facebook, on her wall, thanking her for a postcard. Why? It's creative. It's different. People don't think of those little things today. Being persistent. People always ask, well, how do you know when it's a no? Well, when they tell me no. It's like Jim Rohn says, how long should you try? The answer is until. So until somebody says no, until somebody says leave me alone, or they block me, or tell me to stop contacting them, you don't stop. You keep following up. I mean, who cares if somebody takes 5 contacts to make a decision? Who cares if they take 2 months to join? The results are the same. So this is why the attitude is so important. It supports the foundation of being persistent, but you also want to think about being creative. I love Facebook. I love social media. I love Zooms. I love all the powerful tools that we have with technology, but what I love the most is my phone. I love when I can have a conversation with somebody. I love when I can talk to them. Doesn't matter where they live, where they are. That's the most powerful tool in your arsenal is you. Your story, your mouth, your voice, right? And this is what's going to make the difference. Just give it that time, make the commitment, and spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes on a Sunday. Look at the current events, ask your team who they know, think about who you know. It's not going to interfere. It's going to build a little bit of strength in your business. And if you build those fires in your backyard, you stoke those fires in your backyard, and you do the right things over time, before you know it, you'll start looking at your map in your back office, and you're going to start seeing those countries and cities start to populate. And it's going to get fun. So we're at the brink of massive expansion with this company. We want to think about the little things that we can do that will make a big difference.